Welcome to another update of the Central Brazil Mission, Update 2013. Our vision has and always will be making disciples. Make better disciples, you'll make more disciples. Ruth Ann and I are completing 44 years of missionary service here in Brazil this year. We live in the beautiful city of Goiânia, a city of 1.5 million people. We live near this park where I run every day when we are at home and not on the Amazon boat trips. If you watch closely, you might even see me running at the park. Our goal has always been church planning and leadership training. From the Novo Horizonte Church, which we began in March of 1974, we have seen over 50 new churches started, and they are still multiplying and starting more churches. We are making and sending out disciples. They are all indigenous and self-supporting, and almost all of them own their own properties. We have also developed a beautiful camp for the churches a few miles from Goiânia. During these years, we estimate that over 40,000 individuals have been baptized into Christ. And as churches and disciples multiply, many more people will come to know the Lord. It has now been over 12 years that God called us to another mission field in Brazil. We had our first Amazon boat mission trip in March of 2000, and it has developed into now what is called Project Amazon Christ, Life, and Health. After using the old Francis and Anne boat for the past 12 years, we inaugurated a new Cbm Amazonia boat in January of 2012. We are doing 10 trips a year with the help of the U.S. teams of 10 to 15 individuals that come for a 12-day short-term mission trip on the boat. These teams are made up of medical people, construction crews, and many others that are just willing to serve in any capacity. Let's go to Manaus and do a trip. We will meet you at the airport in Manaus after your 5-hour trip from Miami. From the airport, we will go by bus to the boat. A few instructions are given as we take the bus ride to the boat. By mid or late afternoon, we are leaving Manaus and crossing the encounter of the waters, where the Rio Negro meets the Solimões and forms the Amazon, and the waters do not mix. From there on down the Amazon towards São Sebastião, where we will arrive early the next morning. During these first few hours, you will find your room and begin to get your body adjusted to river travel, as well as begin separating the medicines that you brought. We will arrive in São Sebastião early the next morning. We have our first devotional gathering of the trip. Each morning, we will have a Bible study. You will learn to sing in Portuguese, and we have an English-Portuguese lesson. And during the first meeting, you will find out where you are in the Amazon and where will we be going on this trip. Upon arriving at the village, people will begin to line up and get their file card for a visit to the doctor or the dentist. Then they wait on land until they are called to the boat for treatment. Once they get on the boat, they are weighed and measured, and the adults get their blood pressure taken. They are then seated in the waiting room until called to see the doctor or dentist. Mother and/or father with all the children will then go to the exam room to see the doctor and get their prescription for medicine. Or they will go to see the dentist for either pulling or filling, and as on a recent trip, have made and received new dentures. When finished seeing the doctor or dentist, the patients take their file card with the prescription down the hallway to the drugstore. Beside the drugstore, while waiting in line to get their medicine, each person will receive a dose of worm medicine and get a small gift packet. At the window of the drugstore, Ruth Ann will give out and explain to each person, and especially to the mothers of the children, how to take the medicine. She also writes on each prescription instructions on how the medicine should be taken. When leaving the boat, we usually have someone to give spiritual advice and pray with the individuals. Almost all of our medicine comes from the United States with the individuals that come on the trips. Vitamins and meds are collected by many churches and sent to the team or group that is coming for a trip. All of the medicines are stored in our air-conditioned basement on the boat. This goes on the entire day until we have seen everyone that wants to be treated. There are times when we have emergency cases and must stop our regular treating schedule to give attention to a special need such as a very infected arm and hand, or a very bad piranha bite. On other trips, we have had someone to give eye exams and glasses, a vet to treat the animals, and sometimes we even make house calls to those who can't make it to the boat. In the evening, when we have finished treating everyone, we will go up to the village church or community center for a service with the people from the village. There is always singing and a Bible lesson given, and if we are there on Sunday, we will share the Lord's Supper with them. As the children leave, we always have a gift or toy for each one. Sometimes part of our trips involve a construction project. We have had churches that finance a village church and even come and build it. It usually takes 2 trips to build one of these village churches. Part of our Project Amazon ministry is training our village missionaries and workers. 10 times during the year, on the first Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of each month, they will all come to San Sebastian for training. We have one of our missionaries that comes in his small boat each month, and it takes Damion 22 hours to get to San Sebastian. Our CBM ministry and Project Amazonas depends upon churches and individuals like you. Over these 12 plus years, we have been able to distribute over $500,000 in vitamins and medications because you have helped. We have treated an average of over 400 patients each month during this same time. We have visited over 50 villages, and have 20 churches in the Amazon, but there are over 30,000 villages just in the state of Amazonas where they are waiting to be treated, to come to know Christ, and have their own Project Amazon church building. Your prayers are needed. We need to reach more, and your help is needed. You don't have to be a medical person to help on a trip. There is plenty to do. As many others have done, maybe it's time for you to do a short-term Amazon boat mission trip. Ruth Ann and I and the Cbm Amazonia are waiting for you, as are the people that live in the villages. Project Amazonas, Christ, Life, and Health desires and needs your participation in this ministry.